Hey guys, I just wanted to show real quick. I got my lawnmower, my new AutoMower set up. Well, I'm setting it up today. So that's the base station. So the lawnmower went from here. It went out that way. This is my backyard. So it went over to the front yard, through there. And the point of this video is to just show you. Went through this hole here and out this way. There's my chair. I've been watching it. So it went out this way, and it followed that path there. And this grass has not been mowed in about 10 days. I don't know if you can tell how tall that grass is. It actually looks pretty bad right now. This is pretty tall stuff. So you can see how tall that stuff is, right? There's some pretty tall stuff over here. So very tall right now. And before this mower, I'm still checking it, but I wanted to show just how good of a job this thing does cutting thick stuff. Okay, so I stopped it just so I can, all right, there it goes. So you can see it's going over at once, and it's leaving a path of some uncut grass. It's going to take a few passes for that to trim it up. You can see it slows down because it sensed some of those weeds. You can see this is and look what it's cutting here. That's quite a bit. And it actually looks, with all this, it looks pretty horrible right now, but hopefully it'll go over it. As it goes over it several times, it'll clean it up. Now they recommend that before you start it up the first time, that you mow all the grass so it's not working as hard. But who has time to mow the grass when, actually who wants to mow the grass? I just bought this thing and I'm kind of done mowing the lawn. So I figured I'd give it a hard job to begin with, just to see what the difference is. Now, when the thing is up and running, it's not gonna. The grass will never get this long again, right? It'll never get this long. So in the time to come, as it keeps on doing this, it's only gonna mow like a 1/16 of an inch every single time. So to the naked eye, it's gonna look like it's mowing freshly mowed grass, but it's just gonna maintain a freshly cut grass look. Slightly cutting off just barely any grass, and then that tiny little 1/16 of an inch won't be noticeable. All right, so you can definitely tell where it's been. You can see this little X mark here. At least I can definitely tell that. So I'll check back here in a little bit and see how it performs. It's just been a few minutes and it's going back over this really thick area here. You can see that it's leaving behind all this stuff. So I'm just curious to see what it does with all this stuff. Will it be all that noticeable once it cuts everything down? All right, I'll check back in a few minutes. It's been about 30 minutes now, and it's actually doing, it's leaving a lot of grass behind, obviously, because it's chopping it down pretty, the grass is super tall, but it's actually doing a really good job. I'm not sure how it's going to look with all this tall grass still in the grass, it's just left behind. I'll let it run and maybe it chops it up some more. Still a few scraggly spots, like like right here. Got some tall spots. Right there, it's still tall. Oh, it's gonna mow that now. All right, we'll see what it does. I'll come back later. Oh, what time is it? 5:20 now. So it's been, I think I started at 3:45, 4:45. So about an hour and a half later. It's still mowing the front yard, this area up front. Still has a few areas like right here. There's still this little clump here that needs to be cut. There's one here and there's one here. A few small areas, but there's kind of a large area right there. Actually, you can see it. You can see it right there. But actually, it's doing a pretty good job. There's a few areas I see. I don't know if you guys can see those. And you can hear it as it mows, what areas it hasn't done before. Put it close so maybe you can hear. I can still tell all the stuff that it has cut. Right, so if I come up here, I can still see, some of the long clippings. But that's because I just hadn't done it in 10 days. I think as this thing does it over and over again, it's going to make it look pretty nice. So far I'm pretty tickled. Yeah, it's taken take another half an hour to an hour, but what do I care if it takes 30 minutes or 3 hours? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go back in. So while it was mowing, I was in the pool swimming. So it can take its time. I don't care. I think the battery life on this thing is like 6 hours or something, 8 hours. It has a really long battery life. Alright, so I'll let it do its thing. Okay, it's been at this for about 2.5 hours now. Started about 3:45. It's 6:15, 3:45, 4:45, 5. 2.5 hours. So and it's just about done. There's a few spots. If I look around, there are a few things like right here. I know it's ran over this at least a couple of times. If you can see that. Oh, look at that! Here it comes right now. See this? It's run over this a couple of times. Let's see if it actually mows it this time. Oh, see, it comes right back up. So I guess if the grass gets this long, which I'm gonna pull it out. So this is one that it can't mow. It just rolls over and it doesn't mow. So if it's that long, that's maybe 6 inches or so. So if your grass is over 6 inches tall with some of these weeds that just kind of lay down, it's kind of thick, then this might be problematic, right? But that's the only place that was the only piece that I've seen that it went over and it didn't cut. But that's looking like a really nice lawn. I am liking how it's turning out. Now, as far as all this, I don't really see all the clippings. I guess if I dig down here, I can pull them up. But I thought it was going to be a lot more noticeable with all the all the clippings in here. But you can see you don't really see them. There are some areas like right here. I can see some right here. Right now, I guess the biggest test is going to be when all this grass, when the clippings die and they turn brown. Are they going to be noticeable? So I think maybe another half an hour or so, and this should be completely done. And you can hear how the blade isn't working that hard anymore. Hopefully you can pick up on that sound. So it's hardly cutting anything anymore. Now right there I have a bit of a lip on my grass. See if you can see that. So my grass is kind of about maybe 2 or 3 inches, actually a lot closer to 3 inches. My grass is a lot taller than the sidewalk is right over here. Yeah, so it has to fight to kind of get back up. That's looking really good. Boy, look at that. That looks really nice. Alright guys, it's 6:50, so it's been about 3 hours since this motor started mowing, and I think it is done. Of course the sun is setting, and it looks fantastic. I am pretty pleased with how it looks, especially for how rough it looked, for how tall it looked when I first started, right? So you can see, like, oh well, you probably can't see, but there's a lot of brown grass that I, last couple times I mowed, I wasn't bagging, I was just mulching. So I'm pretty pleased with how it's turning out. Actually, I'm very pleased, especially for how tall it was. I am very pleased, and look how cool it looks with those LED lights. I'm going to show you walk around. So there's a couple of things. So it's not perfect. So I noticed, like right over here, it's leaving right over here you can see some tall grass. Oops, it's coming up behind me. So right alongside here, it's leaving some tall grass, which just means I'm gonna have to just take this boundary wire. There's a boundary wire. I'll just have to move it over a little bit more so it gets over here. I think that's all I have to do, because like over in this area, it's getting over here pretty well. Well, I guess there's a little bit of grass still, a little bit of tall grass. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to move the boundary wire or if I'm just going to plan on hitting that with a weed eater, because I still have to weed eat anyhow, right? So to get that edge nice and clean, you got to hit it with a weed eater. So I'll plan on probably hitting it with a weed eater. But that's a fantastic looking grass, guys. That is just really nice, all nice and uniform. There's no lines. You can't see where the tires have gone. It is beautiful. It is super quiet. I like it. So that's the maiden voyage for at least this area here. I still have to work on some other things, getting it all dialed in. But sure is nice being able to mow my lawn from that chair over there. All right, guys. I'll work on it some more.